Got a Frigidaire dishwasher that is standing water. It's got standing water in it, so I need to fix this. It's number one on my honeydew list. Oh, here comes the manager. Better make some more coffee. It's gonna be a long day. Pull the basket out, put it on the floor. Get a bucket and a sponge. Hopefully not the sponge that you clean the car with, but if that's all you got, hey, that's all you got. Sponge out all that nastiness. Once you've removed the water, sponged it all out, make sure and put that nasty water on your neighbor's plants. You know the one that has the barking dog that barks all day and all night at anything that moves. Alright, so, oi. Need to pull all this out. If this pops off, this actually kind of twists out. So it should have been twisted here. I've already had to do this once. Untwist it, pull it up, pull this out. This little catch area is kind of where all the food accumulates. Did not know that. And so I already cleaned this once and it's kind of getting dirty already again. So, but yeah, you definitely want to take this out and clean it often. I had to use a screwdriver because it was full of stuff right there. So it's already been cleaned because I was hoping that this would fix it all, but it has not. So I'm actually going to have to change the hose out, and hopefully that'll do the trick so it'll drain. I'm going to go ahead and clean this with some dish soap, hot water. Give it a good scrubbing. Both sides. Here's some some more water for your neighbor's plants. Got to sponge that out too. There we go, all sponged out. Neighbor's plants are starting to wilt. However, your dishwasher is attached. You need to unscrew those screws so you can pull out the dishwasher away from where it lives and get to those hoses underneath it. My dishwasher had these little metal tabs here that kind of had to jimmy it back and forth to avoid this little hole here to pull it out, or it just kind of got stuck there. You may have the same thing. Alright, pulled it out and set it off to the side. Looking down here, got a couple of hoses. Looks like, I do believe this white one here is that drain hose. That's probably the one that's clogged. And then we have that red hose, and I'm guessing that's where the hot water comes into. So probably gonna pull this white hose off, check it out, see if I can either unclog it or get a new one. Here comes the manager again. How am I doing, Chairman Meow? Oh, look at his tail is up. He's happy. On a side note, I did notice that my door kind of lost its mojo, and I just realized why. This little spring here should be going right here, and that should restore its mojo. Alright, so definitely want to make sure, here's the power, I want to make sure that that's unplugged from underneath the sink. Anytime you're working with electronics, unplug it first. And then here's my little drain pipe, and it looks pretty clean. So I have a funny feeling that this little pump here, looks like a pump, has probably failed to suck that water out. I thought maybe this was plugged up, but it looks pretty clean. And so I'm guessing that this little pump is probably going to need to be replaced to suck that water out. And the reason why it failed, I'm guessing, is because I didn't clean my drain, my drain at the bottom inside here, and so it probably burned up. Alright, so I am going to remove my drain plug, and probably going to get into this and have a look at it, and go from there. Alrighty, it's been removed. Here we go. Here's a little rubber flap for one-way flow, and so let me just see what this is all about here. Alright, looks like we've got some Phillips head screws right here. Gonna pull those off, and then I'm taking note right now, these leads here, the blue lead is below and the white lead is above, and start, because once I probably take this out, I'm gonna have to put it back together, and gotta make sure the leads are right. Another thing to notice is that if you notice there's an empty plug there at the very, very top. Want to definitely probably set it up the same way and putting it back together. Come to find out, the pump screws are not Phillips head. They're this special star style special tool. So don't try to open it with a Phillips head. It won't work. Alright, here's the little pump. I'm guessing this pump has failed. And so here's the other end. Nice nastiness coming out of it. So probably need to replace this. Let's check it out. Alright, want to make sure and keep everything together, so when it's time to put this back together, we will be able to not be searching all over. Alright, so I'm getting ready to get that replacement part, and I do take note inside is the model number of the unit, just in case they need that. You want to make sure and grab that first, so you don't have to make many trips. Created a side project, and that is my cabinets are not finished here underneath where nobody sees, and I like to buy lots of things and store them up, and so they're kind of poking out the side. So I had this little cardboard that was not really doing the job holding that stuff in, and now I'm going to put this particle board, and I'm going to go ahead and screw that on, and so this stuff does not fall in underneath the dishwasher, and I'll be able to fill it up to the top with all my special buys. Alright, got my drill bits, bought some bolt screws, wood screws. Got my driver, and had my local lumber store cut me down a piece of particle board, and there we are. Here's my extra protection. Went to my appliance dealer, and here's the old part. They checked it. It is bad, and here's the new replacement part, and it just looks a little bit different, but it should be good. Alright, so this part it's got a little rubber seal on it. You just push it right back in there, put in the screws. Gonna plug it in just the way it was plugged in before, and we should be on our way. Alright, put the screws back in, and now I'm putting on the rubber hosing, and got to be careful not to over torque those screws, because remember, they are going into plastic, and it's got a nice little rubber seal in there, so it doesn't need to be not too tight. Alright, so there we are. The drain pipe is on. Looks pretty clean, so you know, and it's definitely was this pump. They did check it, and it was not working, so yay. Alright, this was a concern of mine, this being on this side of this bracket here, but I did notice the hot water hose is also underneath the bracket, so I think it should be alright. Looks like it's going to clear it. And so, and then also the power is underneath this metal bracket too, so shouldn't be a problem. That's the way it was before. Aha! These pipes go out the back. They do not go underneath that bracket. Go right out the back like that. Right under the sink. Alright. Dishwasher's back in place. I tightened up these little screws. I fashioned these screws, attaching this to the stone. So now it's ready to go. I got to put in the filter and stuff, but here it is. This is where it lives. So put in the filter bottom first. It's got a there's only one way to put it in. That little part right there fits right in there. Press it down. If you notice, it's nice and clean. This whole little trap area is where all that food was trapped, and probably what destroyed my pump, because it was filled with food. Need to clean that probably at least once a month. Take it out, wash it with some with a sponge and some dish soap, and get all the food particles. That's where it all traps, right in there. Alright, and then these parts go in here. This goes first, and this one goes in here, and you have to twist it counterclockwise, and it locks right in there. It's locked in counterclockwise. Alright, and last but not least, here's the little water splasher, and this pops right there, and it spins around like that freely, and we're getting really close. Alright, so what else we got to do? Got to plug, turn it back on, and I'm going to run it an empty cycle just with a little bit of bleach in there to clean that out and to see whether that new pump is going to work. It's got a 90-day warranty, cost about 60 bucks, and saved some money, hopefully, in labor. Alright, don't forget to put the basket back in. I went ahead and put a little bit of bleach in there. Now I'm going to run the cycle, and we'll see how it is. Yay! Success! No standing water!